How's it going, guys? So Saul Alvarez is going to be fighting Liam Smith for Liam Smith's WBO light middleweight title. Now, it has to be said, this is not a fight that people were asking for. It's not really a fight that there was any demand for. But honestly, I don't think that this is a bad fight. I actually am quite looking forward to this fight. Now, Liam Smith, he's a guy who, he doesn't really get that much press because, to be honest, he hasn't really fought top level competition. He's really only fought domestic level opposition, but he does hold a world title. He has only been beaten once. He has looked very good in recent fights. He's showing good defense. He's got a nice little tight guard. He's a very very effective body puncher. He's got a very good chin. He seems to have good stamina, and he seems to be able to pace himself well through fights. And his last fight was a very very impressive performance to me because that guy that he fought had only had one defeat on his record, and it was to Felix Sturm at middleweight. So that was a guy who was a commendable victory, and the fact that Liam Smith was able to take him out so quickly was what impressed me, and it was interesting because Liam Smith took a certain approach to that fight where in the first round he was very, very measured. He was kind of slow. He was just looking to pick his punches and looking to kind of measure the guy up a little bit. And then come the second round, his corner were basically telling him, "Yeah, finish this guy, go for him," and that's exactly what he did because he had the guy perfectly timed. He knew what he had to do, and he went out and he attacked the body. Yeah, he really, really attacks the body viciously, Liam Smith. That's one thing that impresses me about him is his very well sustained body attack. Now, that's going to be very important for him in this fight because Canelo Alvarez, this fight's going to be at 154. Canelo has had all types of trouble making weight. That was the whole reason that he decided to create that 155-pound catch weight because just having an extra bit of weight on him helped, and clearly he was struggling to make 154. It was clearly becoming a big issue for him, and I mean, the only reason that he's moving back there now is, well, we all know the reason, don't we? I don't need to say it. We all know, okay? And anybody that denies it is just simply in denial. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I think that Liam Smith, he has an opportunity here because he's going to be facing Canelo Alvarez, who, unless they fix the scales, which is possible, we know that that has been done in the past in certain fights. Let's be honest, okay, but boxing isn't regulated properly. Okay, they could, if they wanted to get away with that kind of thing, they easily could. Um, so yeah, short of anything like that happening, anything like rigging the scales, Canelo's going to have problems making 154. So Liam Smith, his body attack is going to be very very key here. He has to attack the body from very early on and maybe try and capitalize on um, any weakness that Canelo may have there, because obviously, draining yourself to make weight can leave you vulnerable to the body, and it can affect your stamina. So if Liam Smith can maybe wind Canelo early on, he may be able to take a lot of that snap away from Canelo's punches, which will mean that Liam Smith can take more risks in the fight. Because obviously, one thing that is going to be an issue for Smith here is that Canelo, while Liam Smith fights with that tight guard, and he's used to walking guys down. Canelo is very good at throwing hooks to the body and uppercuts and stuff like that. And I think that while Liam Smith has that tight guard, I think that Canelo will really, really be putting punches together. And that's something that Liam Smith's going to have to take away with the body attack. He needs to go to the body to try and win Canelo and try and just take away that snap so that Canelo can't, wing those hooks in while he's coming forward. So yeah, the fight, the styles, they match up really well here. Whereas I think that Canelo does certain things better. I think he fights off the back foot better than Liam Smith can. Liam Smith is not a guy to me who looks as if he can fight going backwards. He looks very comfortable coming forward. But I've got a good feeling about this fight, and I honestly do feel that if Liam Smith is in shape and if he's motivated, I do think that this is a winnable fight for him. Although you know, when I say a winnable fight, what I mean he can be the legitimate winner, but I'm not saying that he can get the win because obviously the politics are going to be favouring Saul Alvarez. I mean, Golden Boy have been protecting this boy for years. It's for a long time. Saul Alvarez has been given special treatment. Okay, he gets to he gets judges that just score him rounds no matter what. I mean, in that Amir Khan fight, there were rounds where Amir Khan was clearly outlanding Canelo, and Canelo wasn't really doing nothing, and they gave the rounds to Canelo. So Liam Smith, in order to win the fight by decision, he has to totally dominate every single round of the fight. He has to score multiple knockdowns. He has to really bash Canelo up and really hurt him and really mark him up and stuff like that. But I don't really see that happening, to be honest. So as I say, what I mean is I don't see him doing enough to get a decision. So what I think Liam Smith needs to do here is he needs to be thinking knockout. Okay, he needs to be in there to stop Canelo, and it's a big ask because Canelo's never been stopped, and as far as I know, he's never been down. So Liam Smith, that's why I say that he has to capitalize on this 154 situation. He needs to try and take the energy out of Canelo so that he can maybe stop him on accumulation. Liam Smith, he has to get on the front foot in that first round. He has to move his head. The guard isn't enough. Okay, he's going to need a bit of head movement too. And he's going to have to really, really wing those body punches and really dig them in deep. Like he did in his last fight. Just really, 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 really stick it to the body hard and try and win the guy. And he can do it, but the question is, will he do it? Because I mean, this is the biggest stage he's ever going to have fought. I mean, he's only really fought in a relatively small fights in the UK. Well, I did actually go to one of his fights in Manchester last year. It was the fight that he won the title vacant, and it was on the undercard of Terry Flanagan's title defense. And there was a lot of people there, but the reason why there wasn't as many people there as what there should have been was because that was actually the night that Billy Joe Saunders and uh, what's his name, Andy Lee. I totally forgot his name there. Yeah, but Billy Joe Saunders and Andy Lee, they were supposed to be fighting on that night, but then that fight got delayed till December. So the fight I went to was the Terry Flanagan ended up heading the bill, and Liam Smith was on the undercard fighting for the vacant title. That was the fight I went to, and yeah, the place was half empty. I mean, there was a lot of people there considering that the original main event got cancelled, but I just don't think that Liam Smith has ever been in front of a big, big screaming crowd. He's never really been on a big stage before. That's what I was trying to build up to there. He's just never. When he gets in that ring in America against Canelo, I mean, Canelo is going to have thousands upon thousands of supporters screaming his name and cheering every single little thing that he does. That, psychologically, I don't know yet if Liam Smith can handle that, because he's always had the crowd on his side. I mean, he has a fairly big following in Liverpool, so everywhere he goes in the UK, he always gets a good reception. A lot of fans travel to see him. But over in America, he's going to be people are going to be booing him and really, really getting behind Canelo. And I don't know if he can deal with that kind of stage, that kind of occasion. I've just never seen him do it before. So we don't know. Perhaps he can. Perhaps he's mentally strong enough to handle the occasion, but I really don't know. But either way, I really like this fight. I do. I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely watch the fight. I'm just hoping that Liam Smith. Obviously, I want Liam Smith to win. I'm not a fan of Saul Alvarez. You guys know that who've been following my channel. You know that I don't like Saul Alvarez at all. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way that he messed Triple G about all that time. I don't like that he gets special treatment. I just don't like him. Don't like anything about him. I just think the guy's a spoiled brat and a crybaby and just a greedy individual, and I just don't like him. And he's not the kind of fighter that I want to support. I want to support guys who are giving back to the fans and taking risks and taking challenges. And Canelo ain't one of these guys. Okay, he's a bully basically. That's why I don't like him. I don't like bullies. Saul Alvarez is a bully. That's who this guy is. Okay, he likes to fight little guys, guys that can't take a punch. I mean, even when he won the title, he fought Matthew Hatton for the title at 154. And what was interesting about that is Matthew Hatton wasn't even ranked at 154. He was fighting at 147 and at domestic level too, and pretty low down domestic level. Uh, you know, so that fight was a farce. Okay, him fighting Matthew Hatton for the vacant title made absolutely no sense. Also, he was fighting just people, people like Kermit Cintron, totally washed up fighters. They were even gonna stick him in there with Paul Williams after Paul Williams had already been devastatingly knocked out by Martinez that just ruined his career. They were gonna stick him in with Canelo, knowing that he was there for the taking, knowing that he was vulnerable, and fighting Amir Khan, a guy who was way smaller and had been on the canvas multiple times, had been knocked out twice, once at lightweight, once at light welterweight. It just made no sense. Canelo Alvarez, I think he's just been a very, very protected fighter. I mean, even at 154, he has never been made to fight a mandatory opponent. I remember, what was his name? Jose Suleiman, God rest his soul. But before Jose Suleiman died, he mentioned that he had never made Saul Alvarez fight a mandatory opponent. He manipulated things to ensure that Saul Alvarez, to support the best interest of his career, because he wanted Saul Alvarez to be the champion. They basically gave him the belt and then ensured that he kept the belt all that time until fighting Mayweather. Which obviously, you're not gonna get preferential treatment over Mayweather because he is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, draws in boxing. So you're never gonna get any support over him. But even in that fight, Canelo was able to get a judge to give him a draw. So that just goes to show you the preferential treatment that Saul Alvarez gets, man. It's shocking. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like that this guy has been so protected, and they understand with the Triple G situation. Saul Alvarez and his people, they understand that Triple G is in his late 30s or his mid 30s anyway, and it won't be long before he starts slowing down. So they're not bothered about the criticism they get for ducking that fight, because by the time Triple G's 38, they'll take the fight. They don't mind waiting another 4 years because Canelo's in his early 20s and Triple G's in his mid 30s. So they can wait, whereas Triple G can't wait. So that I don't like the game they're playing. I don't like fighters who do that. Who wait until a potential opponent is at the perfect moment of ripeness before fighting them. I don't like it when fighters do that. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, I like this fight. If I was to make a pick here, I'd probably go with Canelo by a controversial decision, because I just don't think that Liam Smith can do enough to get a points win. Liam Smith's only chance here is a knockout. And of course, Canelo has a chance at a knockout too, because he can punch, right? He is a heavy-handed guy. And Liam Smith, while he's coming forward and while he's pressuring guys, and while he's got that tight guard, there's always a chance that some of those punches could go around the guard and maybe he gets caught with something he doesn't see, and he could get flattened. It's possible. So, it's one of them fights. That's why I like this fight, because assuming everything's fair, it's unpredictable, but it ain't gonna be fair, which is what I don't like. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Canelo on points, because I just, like I said, I can't see Liam Smith getting a decision, and Liam Smith, although he is a pretty decent puncher, he is a good knockout artist. He has never knocked out anybody quite as durable as Canelo before. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Canelo on points by a close, perhaps controversial decision. So let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.